Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Yo, Tom Fiddzy here with a random video review of Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 1. Now, before I get into it, before I even watch the episode and do my review and my reaction thoughts, I just thought I'd give you like a little breakdown as to how I felt going into this show. So when they were all announced, the initial, I guess, phase 1 of the Marvel television universe, actually will be interesting to see if they add any of the WandaVision stuff into the Marvel logo. But yeah, when we got the first batch of trailers and the first batch of just the titles, Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the one where I was just like, oh, they're really just doing every character that didn't get a film and just giving them a TV show. Like, you know, ones like Moon Knight, I was really excited about because that's like a brand new thing. WandaVision a little bit because they sold it as this big premise going into Doctor Strange. Loki at first I was like, oh, I don't really know about Loki. It's just like they're just picking every character. But then when you found out about it, it's going to be all like crazy going around the multiverse and stuff, like really connecting into this multiverse vibes and theming that they're going with the new phase. I was generally excited about it. We saw the trailer. Looked like they were getting some really good comic book, like deep lore in there. So very excited. Then Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it was just like, okay, it's just going to be an action film about Falcon and the Winter Soldier fighting over the Captain America shield. And I'll be honest, I wasn't that excited. We saw the first trailer. It was big action. And I was a little bit like, oh, okay. I mean, like, it's not like I hate big action. But, you know, when you're having the WandaVision stuff and it's like getting a bit crazy and like you're theorizing and stuff, then following it with like just a kind of a generic action film, my excitement wasn't there as much. But then as the trailers and stuff started coming, getting little hints about things like there being like a government-owned Captain America that you saw in the trailers, I started to like warm up. And then obviously remembering how good kind of their chemistry was in Civil War, and then seeing them as two characters who have both lost their best friend, but they're like not friends and now they're stuck together. That I find very interesting as well. So I've warmed up to it, but initially I wasn't that excited for this show for some reason. So yeah, I'm going into it with quite low expectations. So I'm generally now quite excited to see it. In a way, it's kind of twisted itself in that way. So yeah, I'm going to watch the first episode now and then I'll be back. So I'm back. I've watched the episode and, you know, that was actually pretty good. I mean, we didn't get too much into it, but we got some nice developments in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier's character. And it took some slightly surprising turns, mainly because the Falcon, what happened to the Avengers? He's just like, he's working for the Air Force, and then on his time off, he's working on like an old fishing boat. Like, you'd think he'd be a little bit more financially well off, save the world, recognised like a sports star, as we saw in here with the bank person. That was great. But, like, hasn't got that kind of same level of lifestyle. You'd think it would be like the celebrity lifestyle. I guess, you know, the blip made things difficult with financials of the world, which is what is hinted at here. But I wasn't really expecting Falcon and the Winter Soldier to make me start questioning these kind of things in the Avengers. Like, why aren't they better off? Why hasn't Falcon got like a nice penthouse room that has been like funded by the Avengers and Stark Tech, whatever? And like, what is going on with the Avengers? Where are they? Here, as I said, we see Falcon working on a fishing boat and working for like the military, doing like little side jobs. And then in Wanda, she was doing her own thing. So what has happened with the fall of Tony Stark and Captain America? Has it just completely shut down? Did nobody take over? It just feels a little bit weird that it's not kind of being explained. Maybe in Spider-Man it'll be explained. But, I mean, we even see like Falcon, he's like fixing his glider, his wings, like on his own in like a caf in the middle of the open. So yeah, it's a little bit weird, the Avengers situation. I'm kind of guessing now, early speculation, that where this is going to end up is that obviously Falcon by the end of the series will become the new Captain America, and then he'll become like the leader of the new Avengers, which are going to be like all of like the young Avengers. Well, that's my theory as to where it's going to go. But yeah, in terms of this first episode, it was alright. Again, made me think about stuff that I didn't really expect. It started off with quite a cool action scene. At times the CGI looked a little bit, not up to scratch of what you're used to in Marvel, but then this is television, and then I'm like, wow, I can't believe they're doing this. So it was actually really good. That first action scene was pretty cool. Mostly what we saw in the trailers. And that's what I thought, I was like, oh, we're going to see this canyon thing. It's going to be like the first episode. Yeah, it was the first episode right at the beginning. I'm kind of glad because that means that there's a lot of mystery left in this series. That was the best thing about WandaVision. It looks like we're going to get that mystery here as well. Getting most of the action scenes out of the way in the first few episodes as clips that we've seen. Batroc the Leaper was there again. He didn't really do much leaping, although he did leap out of a plane. And then he became Batroc the Glider. Let's talk about those squirrel gliding suits. First of all, they were cute. They were really cute. And then, how good were them people gliding through the canyons at that speed? It was like a gold medal Olympic squirrel gliding team. Like, how do you train for that without crashing? It was a little bit kind of unrealistic. Is that? I'm sure it is, but I'm sure there are absolute daredevils and that. But them people were like the elite of the elite. Like, that is serious dedication, years of training, and to get that level of gliding. But whatever. We saw Falcon flying around straight up killing people, and the action scene was pretty good. Saved the agent. We found out about an organisation called LAF. I don't know who they are. Are they some deep cut into the Marvel universe? I'm sure there'll be loads of YouTube videos explaining it. I did a quick Google just before I did this, and nothing really came up. So I'm guessing they're just maybe a made up thing, or maybe it means something else and it's not actually a thing from the comics, but it hints towards something in the comics. LAF, there's no M, so it can't be Mephisto. So maybe it's somebody else. Who knows? But that first scene was pretty cool, and then we get into kind of the them just living their lives stuff, and we get hints about the flag smashers, and at the end we see like the new Captain America, which is obviously going to be a bad guy. Maybe it's the bad guy in the shield, in the mask, sorry, that's part of the flag people or related to them. I think it's pretty clear that by the end of it, they're going to be fighting that Captain America, the new Captain America. So obviously he's going to be like a Homelander style bad guy. So that wasn't really that big a reveal. I think though, really like the thing that I like the most about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series was the Winter Soldier. The stuff that we saw with Bucky Barnes was so good. Like, because you forget that he's old. He's been like put out of his time, kind of like Captain America. He wasn't like frozen in ice, but he was like frozen every now and then and kind of trapped in this Winter Soldier persona. So he is kind of like, he has like the Futurama like Fry. He is like woken up and he's in the modern world. He's talking to people when he's like on that day. And remember previously we saw him, he was like, back in his day, he was like the absolute stud, the charmer. He knew how to talk to the girls, and here now he's like completely out of his element. He doesn't know how to like engage with like the modern world. He's getting confused about things like pictures on the internet and stuff, and the girl was like, how old are you? You're talking like an old man. He turns up with the flowers. It's like, that's so dated. That was really cool to see him adjusting back, being the Bucky, or trying to be the Bucky that we know about in the past, but having to deal with all of them years where he wasn't himself and all of that stuff coming back up. I think that was the most interesting thing. I was much more interested in the Winter Soldier than I was in Falcon's I'm going to go to the bank and get a loan subplot. Because part of me on that is just like, why can't you just make a Stark Tech boat? You've got big Falcon wings. Surely as a favour, they got all this technology sitting around. Iron Man was making suits. It seemed like every single day on a whim. Just like, I need a new suit to open this jar. I'm gonna, he had suits for everything. Just be like, look, I want a favour. If there's any spare nanotech in the corner, just fish me up a new fishing boat or some better engine to put in it or something. Like, it's crazy that no one's helping him. I guess that is kind of the thing. His sister doesn't want to rely on that because she's had to kind of fight on her own for a long time. Again, dealing into a lot of the stuff with the blip, which is cool. I really wish we would get more into it though. I'd love to find out more situations where people moved on in them few years, or people appeared back in places that put them in jeopardy and stuff. I feel like there's still so much more and so many questions with the blip situation. Someone waking up, they were asleep in their bed and then they unblip and then they're in someone else's bed because someone else has like moved into their house or something. But I'm glad that we're getting little bits. Maybe we'll get like little bits with every different characters series or something like that. But yeah, I hope that we actually really get a good deep dive into it. We haven't really got anywhere kind of with the plot though, like the main plot, other than the hint at the end where you see the new Captain America. And I think it's pretty obvious that that new Captain America is going to be working for the Flag Smashers, and Bucky and Falcon are going to have to reunite, get over their day life problems that they're having, and fight to find themselves, I guess, and find their place in this new post-blip world, seemingly post-Avengers world. So yeah, looking a little bit predictable at the moment, but I'm liking that we are getting more into the characters. Definitely hyped for Winter Soldier. Should be called Winter Soldier and the Falcon, because right now for me, Winter Soldier is the focus. I love how we get his like music cues and that in there. So yeah, good stuff. Good start, but so far predictable. Throw in some twists, I think. Even though like the bank loan stuff was a twist, because I was not expecting to see Falcon go into a bank in this. Throw in some like really crazy twists with the villains and stuff, because I am worried that right now it's going to be predictable. One final thought. I really like that we actually had Rhodey in it. We had War Machine in it at the beginning when Falcon was talking about Captain America, and you could see on Rhodey's face he was kind of thinking the same thing about Tony Stark, because he lost his wingman, he lost his his number one. War Machine was the sidekick to Iron Man, Falcon was the sidekick to Captain America, and they both lost their number one. They're both having to deal with it and fill them shoes as well. So I thought it was really good that he was there as well, with the shield, in that moment. And a bit of a dick move by the museum to hand it back and put it back into service again. So yeah. Anyway, next episode, I am generally now actually kind of excited because I want to find out more and see a lot more of Winter Soldier just living his life, going on dates.